If you want to hit long, straight drives like that one, there is a secret that the pros know that really helps them hit that shot every single time. If you're struggling with driver, this is going to be a real eye-opening video for you. And I've got a really interesting video coming up, which is going to maybe change the way that you think about the golf swing. So I'll be really happy with that. Carry 313 yards straight down the middle. Can't guarantee you're going to do that every time, but I can guarantee you'll hit much, much better drives. So what is the difference between, great golfers and maybe those who are struggling with a driver? And you might be in that category, struggling with the driver at the moment, whether that be accuracy or distance. Well, every single golfer has a top of the backswing, a position which they achieve after they've swung the club away from the golf ball. Every single golfer also has an impact. You might have missed the odd shot, but we all make impacts with the golf ball. The difference between great players and poor players is how we make that journey. So let's have a look at what I might instinctively do in my downswing. The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. So the shortest distance between my club head and that ball is a pretty straight line. If I try and achieve that, I'm going to get a downswing which is quite steep, I'm going to be very choppy, and I'm not going to hit the best drives. The shortest distance is not the fastest. Now I'm going to put a little video on the screen here. This is a little science experiment, but it really highlights what we're talking about. You can see there's 3 balls being dropped at the same time. One is traveling in a straight line, but that is not the fastest. It is the shortest distance, but if you want speed and you want accuracy, straight lines are no good in the golf swing. So if you're struggling with driver, it's very often because your instincts are kicking in. And your instincts are telling you that from the top, the easiest way to get to the golf ball is through a straight line. If I try and do that, if I try and create a straight line from the top of the backswing to impact, whoa. I mean, clearly that's not going to be as good. I'm going to struggle to make par from there. I might even struggle to find that golf ball. So straight lines are no good. We've got to do it like that middle ball, if you like, where the ball was going down, arcing, and then towards the end, it's got more speed. What's going to happen from the top of the backswing to impact? Well, let's break it down. Let's do the movements that are in there, and then we can piece them all together. Let's get to the top. So from here, what are the elements that are going to get me to impact? Well, I have got to, with my arms, relative to my body, I've got to get my arms to drop. You can see how they're dropping relative to my body. My body isn't really moving at that point. The arms are just dropping. My lead arm, I feel, is kind of sliding down my chest. My right arm, you'll notice, is getting a little straighter. It's still bent, but nowhere near as bent at the top. So my arms are moving down relative to my chest. Now, if I stop at this point, the club is obviously nowhere near impact, but my body's facing you. If I now turn my body, what happens? The golf club arrives at impact. But as I do that, look at the delivery. Look at how that club is approaching the golf ball. We go up, arms go down relative to the body, body turns. What is my delivery like? Well, my path is pretty neutral. And look how close to the ground the club is at this point. That's really useful because that will allow me to then hit up on the driver. So to achieve that, my arms went down relative to my body and my body turned. Those two things were happening. They will happen in everyone's golf swing. But watch what happens if I reverse that order. If I do the same things, but flip the order. We get to the top. This time, I'm going to keep my arms the same place relative to my body, and I'm going to turn my body. Now, I'm going to take my arms relative to my chest, I'm going to drop them. Do I get to impact? Yes. But look at how that golf club is impacting the golf ball. It's coming from a very different place. The golf club is much higher to the ground at this point, meaning I'm more likely to hit down on the golf ball, and my club path is more likely to be left. So in those two examples, I had the same exact elements. I had body turn, and my arms were dropping relative to my chest. But because I did them in completely different ways, we get completely different impacts. Which goes back to what I was saying at the start, the journey on how you get from the top to impact is so key. So many golfers instinctively take the shortest route. If you take the shortest route, it's going to probably feel really efficient. But you're going to be hitting those shots a lot. Slices into the trees that are weak. So let me hit a little shot where I'm reversing that order. So we're going to go up to the top. We're going to get the arms going down. Notice how my body does nothing. Now as I turn my body, I can deliver the club. So if I hit a shot like that, this is obviously not going to go anywhere near as far. But if I go up, arms come down, turn my body and collect the golf ball, goes in the ditch. But that wasn't meant to be the best drive. But what you'll notice here in terms of the data, look at my club path, was 6.5 degrees in to out. That's kind of what we're looking for. You know, we want that club to be traveling out to the right of target, because if you're taking the shortest route from the top to impact, there's a very, very good chance that your path is going to be the opposite. So now let's hit a shot. Path was 6 degrees out to the right. Let's hit a shot now where we add the turn first, then we add the arms down. So there's the turn, there's my arms. I mean, that feels awful. Actually missed the water that time. But you can see the curve on the ball. Just look at the shape on that ball. You can see the left to right curve, and the path was 16 degrees out to in. So there was over 20 degrees difference in where my club was traveling at impact, even though both those downswing had the same elements. They both had the arms going down, relative to my body, and they both had body turn. One gives me something I want, one gives me something I'm really trying to avoid. So what I'd love you to do to get the most out of driver is learn what the pros learn. They understand that from the top, there is a lowering of the golf club before it starts to kick out towards the golf ball. Now, when I'm doing that, I'm exaggerating it. You can probably see there's quite a visible kind of drop and a visible change in direction. I'm exaggerating that for the video, but we need more of that in your golf swing. Have a look at this. If I put my delivery line, which goes from the hosel of the club up through my elbow, when I get to the top, I am above that line. If I add my turn, I really struggle to get back to that line. What I want to do is start to lower my arms, which gets me to that line much quicker. Then as I add the turn, it starts to allow me to get these perfect deliveries, which allow me then to create drives, which are a little bit straighter. That club path will again be much more efficient, and it'll be a little bit more out to the right. So we have to think about the golf swing as a blend of movements. There's a very good chance that in your golf swing you have the right movements. I don't want you to change those movements, I want you to change the order of when they're happening. So here's your little exercise. You're going to hit shots like this with pretty high speed. You're going to create the same top of the back swing that you always have. You're going to do some pump drills where you work the arms down, body not doing a lot. That's going to get you into this position. Club is low to the ground, and it feels like it's in behind your hands. You then turn, and you blend the two together. Now this time I'm going to go a little quicker and see if we can create that good shot pattern. Arms down, no turn, add the turn, and we get that beautiful right to left drive. And they are solid. They're out the center of the golf club. I'm also there able to get the attack angle that I want. I'm able to hit up on the golf ball because the club is closer to the ground earlier before it moves out to the right.